Can you talk to me about what drama literacy is?
Well, drama literacy is an approach of embodied cognition to our teaching, and a lot of people think of it as just being for literacy, but we've been using it in our school in mathematics, in RE, in science and HESI. We've tried to incorporate it into all areas of our curriculum. Well, first of all, we use it, particularly in our school. We were finding that in writing we weren't getting very in-depth answers. Children weren't able to really explore character emotions and themes throughout the stories, so we decided that we would try and become those characters and be parts of those scenes so that we could go back and write from an area of knowledge as opposed to just having the story read to us.
So the why to do it is to sort of personalise it, is that right? Am I understanding you correctly?
It is. It does personalise it for each student within the classroom, but it also encourages students to risk take with their thinking. It has them problem solving and asking questions. So for example, in literacy, what we might do is we have a range of strategies. They all come from drama backgrounds, but we might build a tableau. We might say, how is this character feeling now? And they would have 30 seconds for non-verbal communication with each other, and they would create a scene that conveyed an emotion to the rest of the audience. And as a teacher, I would come in and I would tap them on the shoulder, and they might give an emotion, they might give a thought, and the other students in the class get to see a different type of comprehension, the comprehension of another child's interpretation of that story.
So there's risk-taking built into this by the sound of it?
There is, because students, a lot of the students in drama you think would sit back and not participate, because it is scary. It's especially when you know that half of your class is an introvert. It takes the emphasis off individuals. The children aren't getting up by themselves, they're often working in teams, and they're often only having 1 or 2 minutes to prepare a thought process. So they have to take risks. They have to say, is this going to work with these group of people that I'm working with? And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And they can see that. They can see whether they've been successful or not because they look at what everybody else has done afterward. Often the thinking that takes place prevents people from sitting at their table saying, I don't know where to start, because you've warmed up your body, which warms up your brain. What
tangible difference have you noticed then, right, from what the kids are doing now and what used to happen?
Well, it's funny you should say this. We at first didn't notice things straight away. It did take a little bit of time to develop. So the first students that went through, we saw little bits of changes in their confidence in front of the class, but not so much in their writing. But that as we went on, because we've kept the same Year 6 team working together, we found that the better our skill set got with opening up that type of dialogue and that thinking, they were able to be more analytical in what they were going to give to us. So when they sat down and they wrote, they thought, well, who is our audience? What's the purpose? And they used comprehension skills from the drama, and you would see that coming out in their writing. And they were writing for a purpose. Who am I writing for? What is this about? Where is this taking place? Why are they thinking like this, depending on what our question was?
So there's concrete evidence that you can point to improvement of kids' learning?
You can. And we've seen it with our comprehension this year. We've done a lot on picture books, and in Year 6 they were looking at us going, why are we doing picture books? And we said, because there's so many themes in these books, and through drama we will be able to pull those themes out. And then when we were looking at their reading comprehension scores for Pat R, our students were jumping up 2 Stanines, and we know that it's the drama literacy, because they know now, they've been able to identify all the different reading strategies, the comprehension strategies they need, and they actually have real life context for it.
Or tell us one reason why you think teachers should look at this approach.
Because it allows us to assess then and there. We can have assessment of, for and as on the spot, with students not feeling that they're being tested. So you can adapt your whole lesson at the very start in that warm-up, because you can see the need. And you can ask questions to really shape where you're going from that point onwards.